true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines? What are you suggesting? Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy. How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy!
Paris was supposed to be the reset, the glow-up, the cinematic comeback shot where the camera lingers just long enough for the audience to whisper, "She's back." Flashbulbs popping, couture whispering against marble floors, fashion royalty watching from the front row. This was meant to be Meghan Markle's return to relevance, wrapped in silk and confidence. A moment engineered for applause. Instead, it detonated. Just days after Meghan's Paris Fashion Week appearance, South Park released a brand new episode, perfectly timed and mercilessly precise. Not a passing joke. Not a throwaway gag. A full episode built like an ambush. The kind you never see coming until it's already trending worldwide. The premise was savage in its simplicity. A cartoon Duchess, dressed in an unmistakably familiar beige ensemble, strutting through Paris Fashion Week, waving dramatically at photographers who didn't exist. No cheers. No buzz. Just yawns. The crowd barely noticed her. And that indifference was the real punchline. The tagline alone cut like glass, "When relevance calls and no one answers." Within hours, clips flooded X, TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube Shorts. Side-by-side comparisons appeared almost instantly. Meghan's Real Paris footage stitched next to the animated parody. Same hand gestures, same posture, same earnest wave into empty space. South Park didn't exaggerate. It documented. The timing couldn't have been worse. The internet hadn't fully forgotten Jamgate. Her wine and lifestyle branding efforts had already fizzled into awkward silence. Paris was supposed to drown that out. Instead, it resurrected everything. Sources later claimed Meghan was blindsided, heartbroken, humiliated. Reports described her staring at trending hashtags in disbelief, asking how it had spiraled so fast. She'd followed the old formula: fashion, prestige, visibility. The Diana blueprint. But satire now moves faster than PR ever could. By the end of the week, the mockery wasn't niche. It was mainstream. Fashion accounts shared it. Meme pages amplified it. Comment sections turned ruthless. Paris had given her a stage, but South Park stole the spotlight and burned it down in under 22 minutes. And that was only the opening act. The episode didn't stop at mocking clothes or waving hands. That would have been too easy. South Park went straight for the spine of Meghan Markle's entire public identity and snapped it clean in half. This wasn't about fashion. This was about relevance, credibility, and the carefully curated myth she's been selling for years. In one of the episode's most brutal sequences, the animated Duchess is shown seated front row at a fictional Paris runway show called Virtue Verite, a savage parody of Meghan's obsession with authenticity branding. Around her, editors whisper, designers walk past, influencers scroll their phones. No one looks at her. No one cares. And that silence is louder than any boo. As the show unfolds, the cartoon Meghan frantically scribbles ideas into a notebook labeled Rebrand. First idea: start a podcast about being misunderstood. Second idea: launch a fashion line made entirely from recycled headlines. The joke lands because it's uncomfortably close to reality. The studio audience roared. Social media did too, because it wasn't satire pulled from thin air. It was satire built on receipts. Then came the deeper cuts. South Park didn't just joke about her presence. They dissected her failures. Spotify cancellations, Netflix delays, projects teased, announced, hyped, and then quietly buried. At one point, her animated assistant enters the frame and delivers a line so sharp it practically drew blood. Your podcast about vulnerability has been canceled again. No dramatic music. No build-up. Just blunt dismissal. That moment alone exploded across TikTok. Clipped, looped, memed, weaponized. Behind the scenes, Reports claimed Meghan was furious, hurt, calling the episode cruel, sexist, and misogynistic. Harry predictably wanted to fight back. Legal options were floated. Lawyers shut it down immediately. Parody is protected. South Park has survived lawsuits, threats, outrage cycles, and moral crusades for decades. They don't blink, and they don't apologize. But what stung more than the jokes was the reaction that never came. Silence. Deafening, humiliating silence. No Oprah stepping in. No Tyler Perry quotes. No Hollywood defenders rushing to frame it as bullying. When South Park mocked the Sussexes last year, a few celebrities softly hinted at unfair treatment. This time, nothing. Not a tweet. Not a post. Not even a vague statement about kindness. The clip had gone too viral. Defending Meghan now felt risky, embarrassing, radioactive. Meanwhile, the internet did what it does best. Memes multiplied like bacteria. She did it for them. Art imitates life. South Park didn't exaggerate. They just filmed it better. Fashion blogs joined in, posting side-by-side images of Meghan's Real Paris outfits next to the animated parody, captioned with phrases like, uncanny, and you can't unsee it. Even accounts that usually tiptoe around royal drama leaned in. The gloves were off. Then came the quiet but devastating blow no one saw coming publicly. A prestigious French luxury brand, rumored to be in early talks with Meghan before Paris Fashion Week, suddenly went cold. No announcement, no denial, just silence. Insiders whispered that after the South Park episode went viral, the brand pulled back entirely. Because no luxury house wants to be associated with mockery. No one wants to become part of the joke. By now, the nickname had locked in. Duchess of Desperation. Once the internet names you, that title sticks harder than any royal honor ever could. Meghan wasn't just being criticized anymore. She was being archived, categorized, turned into a case study of celebrity overreach. A warning label wrapped in beige couture. And the worst part? She couldn't stop it. Every response made it worse. Every leak fueled another meme. Every attempt to reclaim the narrative only proved South Park's point. This wasn't just a bad week. This was a cultural turning point. The moment the audience stopped listening and started laughing. And the machine was still warming up. But what hurt most wasn't the jokes. It was the silence. No Oprah. No Tyler Perry. No subtle statements from Hollywood allies. Not even a supportive emoji. When the first South Park parody aired last year, a few celebrities had murmured about bullying. This time, nothing. The clip had gone too viral. Defending her now felt like stepping into quicksand. The memes kept multiplying. She did it for them. Art imitates life. South Park didn't exaggerate. They filmed it better. Even fashion blogs joined in, posting side-by-side images captioned, uncanny. Then came the quiet blow behind the scenes. A rumored collaboration with a prestigious French luxury label, talks that had been warming before Paris, suddenly evaporated. No announcement, no explanation, just distance. Because no brand wants to become part of the punchline. By now, the nickname had stuck. Duchess of Desperation. Once the internet names you, the crown is hard to remove. Meghan wasn't just being mocked. She was being archived, turned into a case study, a warning label, and the machine wasn't done. Within 48 hours, Montecito transformed from a serene estate into a full-blown crisis bunker. Phones rang nonstop. Advisors rotated in and out. Harry paced. Meghan fumed. Insiders described a sense of betrayal, not just by South Park, but by Hollywood's deafening silence. Legal routes were closed, so the pivot began. Sympathetic leaks appeared in glossy magazines. Headlines framed her as resilient, wounded, rising above cruelty. But the reaction backfired instantly. Commenters piled on. She's fighting cartoons. Maybe try laughing once. Each attempt to control the narrative only fed it. Then South Park twisted the knife again. Their official account responded to a sympathetic headline with a single line, "When they tell you to stop watching, but it's about you." Over 1 million likes in hours. Silence from Meghan's camp. Behind the scenes, she drafted an empowerment essay about resilience and bullying, hoping to publish it in Vogue or The Cut. Editors quietly passed. The message made her look fragile, exactly what the episode was mocking. Late-night hosts joined the pile-on. Paparazzi shouted jokes. At one red carpet event, a photographer yelled, "Will there be a season 2 of your South Park episode?" The crowd laughed. Cameras flashed. Meghan's smile froze. Old clips resurfaced. Old interviews. Old scandals. The internet reopened every drawer. Even palace sources quietly remarked that satire often reveals truth faster than speeches. That reportedly hurt the most. The narrative had flipped. From brave truth-teller to celebrity who couldn't take a joke. From power player to punchline. In Hollywood, perception is oxygen, and hers was thinning fast. Paris was meant to rewrite her legacy. Instead, it reignited her worst nightmare. And behind closed doors, Meghan was already plotting her next move, convinced she could still flip humiliation into triumph. What she didn't realize was that the laughter had already won. Within 48 hours of the episode airing, the mood inside the Montecito mansion reportedly shifted from shock to full-scale crisis. The serene California estate, once styled as a sanctuary of healing and reinvention, transformed into something closer to a command center under siege. Phones rang constantly. Advisors rotated in and out. PR strategists whispered. Harry paced. Meghan simmered. Insiders described her as not just upset, but deeply rattled. This wasn't ordinary backlash. This was cultural rejection. What cut deepest wasn't South Park itself. It was the realization that no one was coming to save her. Hollywood, once eager to amplify her voice, stayed quiet. Fashion insiders she had hoped to impress in Paris avoided the topic entirely. Even friendly media figures tread carefully, sensing the public mood had shifted. This wasn't a moment people wanted to defend. It was a moment they wanted to laugh through. With legal avenues closed, Meghan's team did what they always do. They pivoted to emotional framing. Sympathetic stories began appearing in glossy outlets, painting her as wounded but resilient, rising above cruelty, battling public humiliation with quiet strength. But instead of softening sentiment, the articles detonated comment sections. She's fighting cartoons. It's satire, not persecution. Maybe stop reacting. Every attempt to reclaim control only fed the fire. Then South Park poured gasoline on it. Their official social media account responded to one of those sympathetic headlines with a single sentence. "When they tell you to stop watching, but it's about you." No emojis. No explanation. Just a smirk in text form. The post exploded, racking up over 1 million likes in hours. It was surgical. And Meghan's camp said nothing. Because there was nothing they could say. Behind the scenes, Meghan reportedly drafted a long empowerment essay about bullying, resilience, and the way ambitious women are caricatured for daring to take up space. The plan was to place it in a high-fashion or cultural publication, something prestigious enough to reframe the narrative. But when editors quietly reviewed the draft, hesitation followed. Sources claimed the concern was simple. It made her look fragile, defensive. Exactly the image South Park had skewered. The essay was shelved. The ridicule didn't stay online. It bled into real life. Late-night hosts referenced the episode with barely disguised amusement. At a red carpet appearance, a paparazzo shouted, "Any plans for season 2 of your South Park episode?" Laughter rippled through the crowd. Cameras captured the moment Meghan's expression froze, her smile stiff, eyes hard. That clip spread almost as fast as the cartoon itself. And once the dam broke, the internet did what it always does. It dug up everything. Old interviews, old contradictions, old scandals, her acting days, family drama, Past quotes that suddenly read differently in the new light. The South Park episode hadn't created the backlash. It had unlocked it, given permission for people to say what they'd been holding back. Even royal sources, usually careful and distant, couldn't resist a quiet jab. One insider was quoted saying that satire often reveals truth more efficiently than official statements. The implication was unmistakable, and reportedly, that hurt more than any meme ever could. The narrative had fully flipped. Meghan Markle was no longer framed as the brave truth-teller battling institutions. She was now the celebrity who couldn't take a joke, the Duchess who reacted instead of rising above. In Hollywood, perception is everything. And once you become the punchline, doors don't slam. They simply stop opening. Paris had been meant to rewrite her legacy. Instead, it reignited her worst fear: being laughed at, not listened to. And yet, even as the noise peaked, insiders claimed Meghan was already plotting her next move. A new angle, a new strategy, a belief that she could still turn humiliation into triumph. What she didn't yet understand was this: the audience had already made up its mind. And laughter, once it takes hold, is the hardest thing to silence.